Cabernet, Syrah, Pinot Grigio, Rosé, however you like your pour, Woodinville has a glass for you.
I was the 19th winery in Woodinville when I showed up.
Woodinville is the hub for great wines in Western Washington, and it's only growing.
I bet you we have 140 wineries and tasting rooms here in Woodinville. So lots of growth.
The growth in Woodinville is only a tasting of the Washington wine industry as a whole. Mark Ryan McNeely opened Mark Ryan Winery in 1999 and has since watched as the local industry has gone global. He just returned from a trip to London, where interest in Washington wines is in peak season.
People were not only excited about the fact we were there, but they knew about Washington State. They knew about Red Mountain and Walla Walla. So it felt good to show up and have these really good group of wine buyers looking for the wines that we're making.
With the growth in the wine industry, could grapes soon outpace apples as the fruit of Washington? Well, according to data given to King 5 by the USDA, in 2021, apples took up 172,000 bearing acres in Washington. For wine grapes, it was just 57,000 acres. In terms of value, in 2021, the value of utilized production for Washington apples was $2.1 billion. Wine grapes are far behind at $262 million. But it's when those grapes are turned to wine that calls all of this into question. According to data from the Washington Wine Commission, in 2020, wine-generated revenues in Washington were $3.9 billion. But that includes revenue from wine tourism to Washington as well.
It's a little surprising to hear that, but then I drive back and forth to all over the state of Washington, and it's apples and it's grapes. So we see a lot of both.
There's not so much a tourism route for apples, and that's what's bringing in the revenue for wine.
You can't charge $100 for an apple.
Well, with tourism limited during the pandemic, the tourism industry related to wine was, of course, impacted. But McNeely says they've never sold more wine than they currently are now, and tourism is picking back up. Live in Woodinville, Kayla Lafferty, King 5 News.
Mark Ryan's one of the good ones, too. I'm glad we talked to him. It is really interesting when you think about the amount of money that you can get for a ton of grapes when you turn it into a bottle of cab or something like that. So great research.
It's nice to be known for our grapes as well.
It is.